Recently, a lot of people have been talking about gratitude.
The one way to coach your mind from depression is with
gratitude.
We must be grateful.
Doesn't matter how much money you got if you don't have gratitude.
And I'm just grateful. Grateful, grateful, grateful.
The one thing that you are grateful for.
However, a study done in Rutgers University discovered that there's actually something more powerful than gratitude. There's something that, when implemented, makes you far happier than gratitude does itself. And yet this is something that most people don't even know about. I haven't seen a single personal development video on this topic. It's something that's not discussed nowadays, even though it's something that we've known for literally thousands of years. And this thing caused me to relocate Time Theory headquarters to be in the frame that we're in right now. This thing that is more powerful than gratitude is awe. For the longest time, researchers studied negativity. They studied what negative emotions lead to unhappiness. But Rutgers was one of the few researchers who started to discover and started to look into what positive emotions lead to happiness. And in one study that he conducted, he found some pretty fascinating discoveries. He found that gratitude leads to a 0.22 positive effect on life satisfaction. It definitely helps. Whereas awe leads to a 0.33 positive effect on life satisfaction. Awe is more powerful than gratitude, but despite this, how many people do you know that talk about awe? How many videos have you watched? How many books have you read that have discussed awe? And then compare that to how many videos and books and journaling prompts you've read about gratitude. Gratitude is popular, awe is not. Gratitude is effective, awe is even more effective. But it's not like we've only recently discovered this. This has been known for thousands of years, and the example that comes to the top of my mind is the Christians. They would build incredible cathedrals, magnificent, huge cathedrals, that for spiritual purposes are there to help them serve God, but for practical purposes are there to help the community feel a sense of awe. And they took this to the extreme. Even though monks would wear robes, simple robes, and eat bread and water, very simple, modest, humble lives, they would go to the extent to build these magnificent cathedrals, sometimes taking over 250 years, simply to build these cathedrals, all for awe. And sometimes there would be builders on these cathedrals that knew that they were never going to set foot in this cathedral, but they found purpose, knowing that they would build something that inspired awe inside of everybody. They knew the power of awe. And Paul Piff, another researcher at the University of California, did a fascinating experiment where he got two groups of people, he split them up, and he got one group to stare at a boring concrete building. That was all they were asked to look at. Whereas the other group were asked to look at this incredible forest full of massive trees that were just monumental. Then you got actors to walk through the room where the participants were in, and the actors were carrying a massive box full of pencils. The actor would then trip and stumble and drop all of the pens and pencils all over the floor, and Paul Piff observed how helpful were the participants. How many pens on average did each group pick up? And you guessed it, the group that were inspired by the forest picked up a significantly more amount of pens than the group that was staring at the boring concrete building. Another incredible result of this study was, after the study was finished, the researchers asked the participants, how much do you feel like you deserved for this study? And the group that were inspired by the awesome forest requested half as much money as the group that weren't inspired and weren't filled with awe. So simply by being filled with awe, we're more helpful, we're more communicative, and we're more likely to be happy. And I've noticed this in myself. Feeling awe is such a powerful emotion. But why does nobody talk about this? Why do we all know what gratitude is? We all have gratitude journals, we've all heard of gratitude practices and how that can lead to happiness. Why do we not hear so much about awe? And what even is awe? What is the definition of awe, and how can we get more of it? Well, the researcher Keltner, who was independent of Piff, wrote that objects that are vast in relation to the self are more likely to produce awe. So Keltner and Piff both concluded that the reason we feel awe is when we feel small relative to the things around us. Everything else feels massive, we feel small, but yet we feel connected. Insignificant, but connected. That is what the feeling of awe is, at least according to these researchers. But it's not all good news. Both Piff and Keltner have observed that awe deprivation, the lack of awe that we have in society nowadays, has led to a monumental shift in society over the past 50 years. It's proven that attendance at live events, like galleries or camping trips or theaters or museums, they've dropped over the years and have been replaced by television and screens and instant gratification and late nights working in front of a monitor. And these researchers believe that this is the reason that we've become so selfish, and we've become so self-centered and individualistic, where we view us as us and them as them instead of us together. They believe that this is the reason that we've become more materialistic and we view money and that's what we're going after. They believe that awe deprivation is the reason for all of this. Which is a pretty interesting conclusion, which leads to the follow-up question, which is how can we get more awe? How can we feel awe on a regular basis? So I've done the research, I've read the scientific papers, I've done whatever research I could on awe to put together 2 different ways that you can experience awe so that you can feel more life satisfaction and happiness on a day-to-day basis. The first one is material. It's about going to places that help you feel awe. And for the longest time, I thought that the place you live, you've got to stay frugal. You've got to just accept what you are given and not strive for more. But after really looking into awe, I've recognized the importance of this for myself and the people that I work with, that I've moved time theory headquarters to here. So now I can take the role of the most woke empty house billionaire away from Alex Becker. It's now mine.
As the most woke empty house billionaire business advice guy, who is also extremely good looking, let's just add that to the title.
I am officially the most woke empty house billionaire, and there's no questioning it. I've stripped that role from Alex Becker. But seriously, the reason that I have made this, and the reason I've made this move, is because I want to feel awe on a regular basis, and I want everybody I work with at Time Theory to feel awe so that we can all produce our best work and serve as best as we possibly can. And I want to use this as an opportunity to connect. Here on the YouTube channel, I make videos and you watch these videos, but sometimes I don't feel as connected as I should to you guys, and I feel like you probably feel the same to me. If you look back to who I was 2 years ago, it's completely different to who I was today, and every single person who watches these videos has helped me along the way. It's helped me get this place. It's helped me provide the opportunity to serve a lot of people. I really wanted to say thank you. But going back to awe, you don't have to move to an incredible place in order to feel awe. You can go and you can watch the sunset. You can go on a walk and you can go through nature. Just anywhere you can go to get the feeling of awe. It's something that you can control, and it's something that you can get more awe of simply by physically moving into places that help you feel more awe. Even surrounding yourself with people that are awesome and that are inspiring to you. Any way to help you increase awe is a positive thing. The second thing you can do to help you increase awe is more mental. The ancient Stoic philosophers had an exercise called a view from above that's designed to help you feel awe. Basically, you sit down and you meditate and you imagine yourself from a third-party point of view, as if there's a camera looking down on you. And slowly you zoom the camera out. So first of all, you see yourself, then you see your room, then you see your house, then you see your city, then you see your village, and then you go out and out and out until eventually you see the whole world. As you do this process, you're going to start to feel smaller. You're going to start to recognize the insignificance for a lot of the problems that you have on a day-to-day basis that feel in the moment to be these massive monumental problems that are never going to go away. When you do this exercise, you recognize that there are so many other people out there on this planet that are experiencing very similar things to the things that you experience on a day-to-day basis, allowing us to feel insignificant yet wholeheartedly connected. If you want to take action on this concept here on this channel, where time theorists, we actually take action, we don't just listen to these concepts for the sake of it. On screen right now is a principle, a guided meditation that you can use in order for you to take action on this, in order for you to feel awe straight away. It's from a while ago. I think you'll appreciate watching it. But once again, Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one.